Yo, what's going on, y'all? Creative Visions here, back with another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about my infatuation with the goated Sony A7IV. Let's get right into the video. Alrighty, so I've been a user of a Sony A7IV for about maybe a year or so. You know, one of the best hybrid cameras in my opinion. You have a 33 megapixel sensor, shoots up to 4K 60 with a slight crop, 4K 30 and 4K 24 no crop. It is downsampled from 7K or upsampled from 7K to 4K. 10 frames per second when it comes to photos. It has a multi-angle, flip screen, fully articulated touchscreen. One of the best. It's not like the Sony A7R5, which is right here. It doesn't flip out fully. You don't get that fully compatible, It doesn't, it's not there yet. Maybe the A7V. But in this video I want to give like 3 pros and 3 cons of like how I feel about the A7IV. Starting off with the pros. One of the pros of B is its capability to do photos and video at a great, at a great price and at a great, reliability. The photos on this is very great. Me, I'm more of a filmmaker, but I started off doing photos. A little quick backstory. Started off with Canon EOS R, moved to the, the Sony FX30, moved to the Sony FX30. It's a full video camera, shooting on the FX30 right now actually. But no, eventually I knew I needed a hybrid camera for both photos and video. It's one of these. Speaking on the megapixels, the 33 megapixels allow you to get high quality photos, 61 megapixels, 33. Very good for a hybrid camera. The autofocus is great. It doesn't have the Sony AI autofocus, but it does have Sony's, I guess last gen before the AI, which is one of the best in the world. You can't go wrong with it. Very great, very fast, reliable. No issues when it comes to autofocus. And then, the last actually pro about the photo side would be, I'm gonna be honest, being able to use crop mode in photos. Now, granted, once you crop in from 32 megapixels to the crop mode, it goes down to 15 or like 12 or something like that, which is, pictures can get a little bit soft, but at the same time, you're still getting very good quality out. This camera is a very small noticeable thing when you crop into it, and it's not as sharp. Obviously, comparing it once again to the A7R5, 61 megapixels, putting the crop mode, you get 30, I think, or 33, which is like the full frame version of that. So, if you're really just a specific photo person, you're gonna want to go with something like that. But, if you're doing hybrid, there's nothing wrong with it. All right, now let's hop into the video pros. Hold on, wait. So before we go to the next session, my bad. I do want to apologize to you that, I did forget to mention something else about the photo actual benefits. And that would be the 10 frames per second in burst mode. It's not the fastest, but it is pretty fast. And, I did actually put it in the video, but I took it out because, I didn't have no actual footage to show it. So sorry about that. I apologize. Appreciate you for watching. Stay tuned. I will pop up if I do have to make any more interferences. My biggest video pro would be 10-bit 422, 4K 60, 4K 30, 4K 24. A very big fan of 60 frames per second because I like to slow things down in camera. Coming from a person that was using the Canon EOS R, that camera was limited to 4K 24, I think, and that didn't allow you to slow anything down, and it had a major crop in 24 frames. It had a major crop in 4K, which was a 1.6 crop. So this is a no crop in 24 frames and 30 frames 4K. With 60 frames, the dude does a 1.6 crop. But that's not bad. You can definitely get over that, and it's definitely not a big issue when you know what you're doing and you know how to frame up your compositions. Second pro for video, I guess, and photo would be, the dual SD card slots that we get with this camera. Coming from a past user of an A7IV and, Canon EOS R, you only had one slot. So, doing weddings and things like that, the serious music videos and YouTube videos, you got that dual recording, you got that redundancy to make sure, that nothing goes bad with your footage, just in case the card corrupts. You always get this backup. And it's just a good peace of mind, honestly. It's something good that you can go to sleep knowing that you have backup. And then for the third pro video, I'm definitely gonna say the oversampled 7K or downsampled 7K to 4K. Man, the image that you get out of the A7IV for video is very sharp and clean.
I know you back in the streets again. I ain't gotta ask, cause I know what you gonna say. Ain't gonna treat me like this, find someone that you can play.
So you missed.
You know.
How y'all be a professional? Like, how you miss, bro? Like, y'all don't want
Yeah.
nigga just walking around with fire and you miss. I gave you a lick and you fucked up.
One of my last favorite things that I love about the A7IV for video is the low light capabilities. Man, if I can explain this quickly, I would have to say this is like a FX3 when it comes to the sensor, but not at the 12,800 ISO, but like anything working all the way up to 12,800. Beast, this is cleaner than the FX3. I did my own research. I do have footage. I should show you, but I don't know if I had the footage. But the low light coming from this camera is great. I came from the FX30. It has decent low light, but this camera is a beast. This camera is a beast. Going from like 100 all the way to like 10,000. Clean. It's a little bit of noise, but it's clean. The ISO performance definitely has helped me throughout. You know, even when I was shooting a movie, House of Desire. I'm gonna show you some clips from that. It definitely did this. It definitely held its own thing when it was shooting. You know, pitch black, dark, and a little bit of light. You know, here, there. It really depends on the lens also, but this thing is a beast in low light.
Man, shut up and listen. Bro, we gonna do it my way, bro. Meet me on 31st tomorrow, bro. We gonna do it my way. No, it was my way.
And then the cons, it's gonna be just mix photos and video together. Biggest con is a crop 4K 60. That's a big major crop for me because, you know, when you're getting a shot, 24 frames is all good, it's wide. But you know, once let's say you want to slow a certain shot down, then you gotta actually make sure you backing up or getting forward and getting the proper framing when you put it in 60 frames, which is a downside. But you know, if you're willing to work with that, coming from a crop sensor, I can work with it, so no problem. Next con, I'm gonna definitely say overheating. Overheating is definitely an issue. There's a lot of people that never had any issues with overheating when it comes to A7IV, but me personally, I have had some overheating issues, and that is definitely one thing that scared me about this camera. Now, granted, I do have the Ulanzi fan. It allows me to put this right there on top of the A7IV, and, you know, get a good, you know, fan coming out of this. Almost makes it like a Sony A7S III, but it is the actual extra thing that you gotta add and charge up to the camera, which can be annoying, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if you need it, buy it. If you don't need it, don't get it. If you're not worried about it, don't worry about it. But overheat is definitely a thing to watch out. It doesn't overheat in 4K 24, but 4K 30, 4K 60 definitely can. Wait, okay, so I was wrong on that one. My bad, y'all. So if you're in full frame, you can shoot 24 frames and 30 frames. That is the full actual sensor. The only issue with that is you are getting that oversampled 7K down to 4.6K, and that does cause overheating because, you know, it's oversampling too much information. Now, if you want to avoid the overheating, if I'm not mistaken, you can put it in APS-C mode. You don't have to put it in 4K 60, but you can put it in APS-C mode, which is going to limit it to 4.6K, and that should help out with overheating, especially in 24 and 30 frames. You shouldn't get no overheating. Maybe in 60 though. That's it. Hope you enjoyed the video, by the way. But yeah, that's my overview of the A7IV. Very great camera. It's coming in around like $2,000. Can't go wrong with it, man. If you guys found value in this video, make sure you guys comment below. You know, let me know if you've been thinking about getting the A7IV. Do I recommend it? Yes, I recommend it. It's a great camera if you know how to work with it, and it don't take too much to work with it. It just takes understanding. That's it. Creative Vision's out of here. Peace.